Hello everyone, this is Travis Tressler at Play Tennis Gainesville, and I'm here to talk to you today about the overhead. The overhead is going to be an aggressive shot that we're hitting up at the net when our opponent's trying to lob that ball over our head. I like to think of it as an abbreviated serve motion. So if they're hitting that ball up high, I'm hitting it overhand, trying to smash down on that ball, be aggressive, and put that shot away. Today, I'll talk about the grip we're going to use, the steps to our swing, and then some drills you can do at home to help you improve that overhead. The first thing that we need to talk about, just like every other shot, is the grip we're going to be using with the overhead. When we're hitting an overhead, ideally, we'll be using the continental grip. We've talked about this with some previous shots, but I'm going to go over again how we find that continental grip. So I'll take that racket. Since I'm right-handed, I'm going to put that racket in my non-dominant hand, my left hand, on the throat. I'll take my right hand, high-five the racket, slide it towards the top of the frame there, and then slide my hand down to the bottom of the grip. If you look closely, my front knuckle is going to be lined up with this bevel on the side of the racket. And this will allow us to pronate our wrist, snap down on that ball, get a little more pace on our overhead. Now that we've talked about the grip for our overhead, we need to talk about the footwork we're using when we're hitting the shot. Just like any other shot, good footwork is the key to being in position and swinging the right way. If we're not moving our feet enough, if we're a little out of position, that's going to throw off the rest of our swing. We're not going to be able to hit that ball as well as we want to. One quick tip about the footwork: it's a lot easier to adjust and move forward than it is to move backwards. So I always tell people, when they see that ball go up and you get turned to hit it, get back quickly. And if you have to move forward, it's a lot easier to make that adjustment and move in than try to run back at the last second and hit that ball. So get back quickly, try to get those feet in position, and then you can adjust moving forward when you're hitting the shot. Now that we've got our grip down and our feet in place to hit the shot, I want to talk about the swing for our overhead. So I've got my continental grip, I'm up at the net, ready to hit that volley. My opponent hits that lob up. First thing I'm gonna do is drop my right foot back. Since I'm right-handed, if I were playing left-handed, I drop my left foot back, and this forces me to turn my body sideways. Too many times I'm seeing people facing straight ahead with their chest, trying to hit their overhead like this. We got to get our body turned, step back with our right foot if we're right-handed, left foot if we're left-handed. When I get that step back, my first motion with the racket is going to be taking it up to what I call the trophy position on our serve. So I'll take my racket back, elbow will be up, racket behind my head here. My left arm out in front to help me stay on balance. You can also use that left hand to point at the ball and help you track it. From here, I'll move forward to contact. So my racket's going straight up to that ball, and ideally my arm should almost be fully extended when I'm making contact with the ball. Last step is going to be a follow through where I'm finishing across my body just like the serve. So it'll look a little bit like this in real time. I'll drop back, racket goes up, follow through across that body. give you a side view here. Racket back, left arm up, contact, follow through. The next thing I want to talk about with our overhead is some strategy. So when we're hitting the overhead, we have two options. We can, one, let that ball bounce once and then hit it, or we can take that ball out of the air without letting that ball bounce. If you're closer to the net, ideally you want to take that ball out of the air and really be aggressive and take time away from your opponents. However, if that ball's a little bit deeper in the court, you can let that ball bounce, give yourself a little more time to set up and hit that shot. Another quick tip, if you're up close to the net and taking that ball early, you can really try to be aggressive and go after that shot. However, if you're further back in the court, further away from that net, I would encourage you to play it a little bit safer. You can try to get that ball back, keep that point going. It's going to be harder the further you are away from that net to put that ball away with your overhead. So if you're up close, be aggressive, try to finish that point with the overhead. If your opponent hits a good lob and they're pushing you back, keep that ball in play. Yes, you can be aggressive, but don't try to overhit and go for too much on that overhead. Final thing I want to talk about, some drills that you can do on your own to help you improve that overhead. This first drill I'm going to show you, you do not need a racket to do it. So I'm going to use a wall today to help me with this drill, but it would ideally be with a partner. So all I'm going to do is toss that ball against the wall here and try to catch it and get my feet behind the ball. So I'll toss that ball up, get my feet set, get ready for that overhead. Dropping my feet back, turning sideways, getting set like I'm gonna hit that overhead, working on my footwork here. The next two drills I wanna go over are gonna involve using the racket now. The first one, I've done this for a lot of our strokes, but I can't overemphasize how important this is the shadow swinging. So we gotta watch ourselves do it, get in front of a mirror, really work on that swing. Once you get out on the court, you'll have that groundwork to hit that shot. But the shadow swing, it may seem boring, unnecessary, but it's very important that we're swinging the right way, watching ourselves do it, and make the adjustments to get better at that swing. The last drill I'm going to show you involves a wall. This is a great drill to help you when you're up close at the net to start to be aggressive, and I like to call spiking that ball, but really getting on top of it, hitting down, putting that ball away so our opponent can't get it. So all I'm gonna do is toss the ball up to myself, spike it into the ground, and keep that rally going with myself with the overhead. So I'll toss it up, spike it down, really try to extend your arm out fully when you're hitting it. This is a great drill to also help with your footwork, getting behind that ball when we're hitting the overhead. I would encourage you, as always, to use a low compression ball if you have it, so we're not breaking windows, not making dents in our house, and we're being safe while we're doing these drills. The overhead is a great shot to have in your arsenal when you're playing tennis. If we're able to be aggressive when our opponents are lobbing us and really put that ball away, it's gonna make us a much stronger tennis player. One, it'll allow you to end points up at the net and be aggressive. And two, it'll also take away some of the strategy that your opponent might be using. We all know people that like to lob, hit that ball soft. If we're able to take that overhead, put that ball away off their lob, that's going to discourage them from doing it and ultimately take away that shot from them. So keep working on the footwork, the spike, getting our feet in place, and really being aggressive when we're hitting this overhead. Thank you everybody for watching. Look forward to talking to you again soon.